Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Guvan Aga. If you're new here, I make videos about living and studying in Switzerland, so you may want to keep watching this video because it's a very interesting one. I'll be answering some frequently asked questions in this video, and you may want to keep watching because it's very interesting. If you see me looking down, I have my script, so not to worry. So before further ado, let's get started.
How are you feeling today?
I'm superb. Excellente. So if you're from an EU or an EFTA country, you don't need a visa to stay or study in Switzerland. All you need to do is to arrive in Switzerland, and then within 14 days of arrival, you need to go apply for your visa. But if you're from a non-EU or a non-EFTA country, where I am assuming most of you are, then you need to apply for a Swiss visa. And there are different, types of visas. There's a school visa, and there is also which is also an extended visa, and there's a short-term stay visa, which is for tourists, for family reunification, and so have you. So to apply for a Swiss visa, you need to book an appointment with the Swiss embassy or consulate in your home country. So there are 4 languages that you can apply for these visas in. So there is German, there's French, there's English, actually 3: French, German, English. If your Swiss visa are not in these languages, obviously it can be translated, but I would advise you to give about 4 to 5 months while applying for the visa, because usually the visas take 3 months and you just have like an extra month, just in case something happens. But prepare in advance and apply for your visa 4 to 5 months before arrival, so you are not hooked in any way. And you can apply for your visa at any Swiss embassy or consulate in your home country. Thank you very much. So once you arrive in Switzerland, you are required to apply for your residence permit 14 days upon arrival in Switzerland. So there are 3 types of residence permits that we usually apply for. First one is the permit L, which is the short-term residence permit, less than 1 year or 1 year. The second one is the permit B, which is a long stay permit for more than 1 year. And then the third one is the permit C. For that, you're applying for a permanent residence. Okay. Yes, in Switzerland, you need health insurance. It is compulsory to have health insurance if you're going to be living here for more than 3 months. So the normal health insurance in Switzerland is very expensive, which goes from 300 francs minimum, right, for a month. So as a student, you take out the exemption of mandatory health insurance, which just permits you to pay about 60 to 66 francs per month, depending on the deductible that you choose. So you have it very cheap, but if you're going to stay for more than 3 months, then you have to take out, health insurance, and that is that. In order to apply for a Swiss university, all you need to do is, number 1, know the course that you would like to study. Number 2, you will check out the universities that offer those courses. Number 3, check out the eligible requirements and if you qualify to apply for that university, and then boom, apply, and then you get a admission. Swiss universities are very easy to apply, so it cannot be compared with US or Canada. They are very straightforward and very easy. So I get a lot of questions about, oh, can Can I get an agent? Can I do this? Can I do that? I have a video which I'm going to be linking up here or here about how to apply for a master's degree in Switzerland. It's very easy, very straightforward. You can do that yourself, and the good thing is you don't need to finish on the spot. When you start, you can save your application and then later on resume application, and then that's how it's done. You don't need any agent. Save your money, guys. So the admission requirements in Switzerland are very easy and straightforward. If you're doing a bachelor's or an undergraduate degree, all you need to do, for example, if I'm from a non-EU country or non-EFTA country, what you need to do is to provide a proof of your high school or secondary school certificate along with all the other requirements that they ask you to provide, and that's all you need. If you're applying for a master's degree, the very first thing you'll be asked is a bachelor's degree program, right? A bachelor's degree certificate that you'll be required to submit, along with, for example, English. If your program is going to be taken in English, they need to know that you are able to speak and understand English and you have a working knowledge of it. So when they require that you provide an English certificate, right, an English exam, let's say IELTS or TOEFL, they usually give an exemption, but sometimes they don't write it. They usually give an exemption for people who had studied in, let's say, their high school or their university in English. For example, in Nigeria, our common language is English, right? So you don't need to submit and you don't need to take an IELTS exam or a TOEFL exam to apply to a Swiss university. All you need to do is to show them your transcript, and if they are not satisfied, get your school to write a letter attesting to the fact that you have studied for 6 years in English, and then that's it. You don't need to take any exam if you have studied the rest of your life in English. It's as simple as ABC. Yay! So the language of your instruction in your school depends on the language of the canton, right? Does that make sense? For instance, University of Geneva speaks or they teach in French, largely teach in French, because in Geneva, the language that is common here is French, right? So the language of instruction in your school depends on the language of the canton, if that makes sense. So yeah, but for bachelor's degree, they would usually have those courses in the language of the canton. But for master's programs, for PhD programs, you can find a lot. I would say over 90% of courses are taken in English for master's program and PhD program. So all you need to do is to do your research and know the language of instruction for that particular course. And I would like you to be very careful here, because sometimes what they do is that they teach the courses that are taken in, let's say, 60% English or 40% English and 30% German or 30% French, whatever the case may be. And in that case, you need to, figure out if you really want to take that course, because the 40% in the other language can be a problem. So if you're confused here, this is the time to write to your school to ask them, if there's anything that can be done, because you only speak English. If there's nothing that can be done, look for a course that is taking 100% in English. That's of the case. Again, Swiss universities are very, 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 very affordable. I think where the problem is the cost of living or the standard of living in Switzerland. Usually for a semester at University of Bern, your school fees as a Swiss citizen is like 300 to 500 francs per semester. As a as a foreign student, your school fees can range to 100, no, not 100. Your school fees can range to 1,000 francs per semester. And if you cover that, that's very cheap compared to Canada, compared to the US. Swiss schools are very affordable. So except you are schooling in a private school or a specialized school, for example, the Geneva Graduate Institute or the World Trade Institute, those schools are very expensive. But if you're schooling in a state school or a federal school, then it's quite affordable for you.